So, welcome to round 8 of the Banter Racing League Season 2. We're here for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in Baku. And here we are with Sentry in qualifying, about to set a pole position lap of a 140.8 at the moment, but he's going to improve in that time with a 140.5. And that puts him on pole for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Here we are, coming into the race now. And I'll take you to the grid in a second when the formation lap starts. So, for round 8 in Baku, it could be a crazy race, it could not be a crazy race, but we'll see what happens. And here we go, the formation lap is starting, and a little bit of interesting stuff off the line there with the McLarens. But now let's take you through the grid. Sentry is on pole by 0.3 of a second from Ping in second place, Gonza in third, Wattmaster in fourth, Ivan fifth, Combined qualified sixth, then Lucky Racer in seventh, Jagger in eighth, Harry ninth, Boxy in 10th, then Wesley in 11th, Cryptox in 12th, Savage in 13th, and then it's the Boom and then Anastasia. So anyway, back to the formation lap. On board with Jagger as we come through into this corner. Lucky Racer is ahead of him. As now here we are, skipping to the start of the race, lining up on the grid for the start of round 8 of the season. Here is Jagger on his, lining up on his grid slot. Here's Cryptox in the Toro Rosso, who starts with 12th. You can see Savage with the Boom right there. And here we go for the start of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix here in Baku. The lights come on now for the start of round 8. And it's now away we go for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And Ping gets a good start, and Sentry also gets a good start as we head down to turn 1. Sentry leads from Gonza in second place. Gonza goes around the outside of Ping and he takes second place. But Ping almost runs into the back of Gonza there. As now we head through onto the straight and on the exit of turn 2. On board with Wattmaster. Heading down towards turn 3 behind Ivan. Now coming into turn 3. Let's see what the Williams can do. Both Williams, in fact, because they both have a chance. Ping clearly has a chance for the win. He just qualified second. So, yep. Let's see what happens. Is now on board with Jagger as we head through into the end of the first sector. Harry is on the inside of him as we head down into turn 7. Is this going to be a move for Harry? Yes, it is on the inside. And Harry in the Renault gets up into P6. Combined is now behind Jagger in 8th. Combined in 8th at the moment. Jagger in 7th. And in the middle of lap 1 of this Azerbaijan Grand Prix. As now moving on to the end of lap 1, on board with Ping too high as he is behind Gonza onto the straight. As we're going to start lap 2 of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Slipstreaming, Ping is slipstreaming Gonza as we head down onto the straight. Is he going to get past him down towards turn 1? Yes, he's gaining. He is gaining with Rich Mix and slipstream. He's going to go to the inside, and Ping gets into second place and overtakes Gonza. It was a nice move from the German in the Williams, and now he's chasing down the leader Sentry. Probably not going to do that, but we'll see what happens. As now onto lap 3, on board with Combined, behind Jagger at the moment, and there's a battle for 7th place. This is lap 3 of the race, of course. Let's see what happens. Can Combined get past Jagger with DRS? Surely not from that far back. Sentry sets the fastest lap of a 1:45, I think that was, or 1:46, I don't know. Couldn't quite catch it. I think it was a 1:45. As now, yep, Combined does not get Jagger on the straight. He was a bit too far back there. And Lucky Racer is also in the back of this battle as well. So it's going to be a nice battle for P7 coming up. As now, here is the replays of the start. On board with Vladimir Jagger off the start in the Ferrari. He gets past Lucky Racer off the line. And coming into turn 1, He started from 8th, of course. And then he goes around the outside of Combined. He overtakes him for P6. And Wattmaster on the inside of Ivan there touches him. So we'll be able to see that from his point of view in a second. Onto the straight now, Jagger and Wattmaster on the straight. That's now coming to turn 3, and Jagger gained 2 places at that start. On board with Combined off the start in the Sauber. Here we go, he doesn't get the greatest of starts, to Ivan anyway. So he comes into turn 1, almost hits the back of Wattmaster there. But there is Ivan side by side with the Wattmaster coming into turn 2. And there is Jagger on the outside of Combined as well. And here is Harry on the outside of Combined. So he gets side by side and he gets past him. So Jagger gained 2 places and Combined lost 2 places. So it's a complete switch around of the order at the start. On board with Wattmaster off the start. Starting from 4th. And he got a pretty decent start there. Sentry did not get a greatest of starts compared to... And then the Gonza goes around the outside of Ping there, you can see that. And then there's Ivan going around the outside of Wattmaster. So 2 McLarens going around the outside of 2 Williams. And Ivan got the move done there into 4th. And Wattmaster dropped 1 place from his starting position in P5. So down to P5, sorry. And now on board with Cryptox, heading down into turn 7. He's got Savage behind him as we come into this corner. Oh, that's a little bit dirty from Savage. Completely just hit him out of the way. That could be a penalty. Maybe he just completely shunted him out of the way into the wall there. I think he just broke too late. He said at the time that he missed his braking point. And that's what made him hit Cryptox there. So it could get a penalty for that. But now onto lap 4. Combined is much closer to Jagger as he head down onto the straight. DRS and Rich Mix and Slipstream. As we come down towards turn 1. Combined goes to the outside of Jagger as we head down towards turn 1. And Harry gets the fastest lap of 1:43. That's fast. And now Combined goes around the outside of Jagger and he moves up into P7. But now can Jagger fight back at Combined as he head down into the next straight? No, he's just got better traction there. As the boom is already being lapped by the field. As now, this is lap 5 of 26 here in Baku. As now we head on to lap 7 of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Jagger has been sticking to Combined for the last 2 laps. As now coming into turn 7. Into second gear. And Jagger has lost it. And he's gone into the wall. And Jagger's lost a bit of end plate on his car. That is not good for Vladimir Jagger and the Ferrari. He's just completely lost it from the turn 7 curb and he's lost half of his front wing, so he'll have to pit now. Jagger would have to pit for a new front wing. And here is a replay of Ping leading the race on lap 7, coming into the castle section, and he's just completely screwed that up as well. So Ping and Jagger having damage on the same lap. So Ping having to pit for front wing, and Jagger also having to pit for front wing. A disastrous way to start their races. As now on board with Wattmaster now, there is Sentry. I think Sentry has just made a mistake there. A reported spin was the cause of Sentry losing time here. And now is Wattmaster actually going to overtake Sentry here, coming through onto the straight. He's going to get some DRS. Now here comes Wattmaster to the outside of Sentry, coming through onto the straight, and he does get past him. Wattmaster moves up into the podium places. He has DRS and Sentry goes into the pits. That's P3 for Wattmaster. As now onto lap 8 of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Coming into turn 16, and onto turn 17 and 18 and 19, coming onto the straight. Combined has got Lucky Racer behind him now. As he head down onto the DRS straight, he's got Lucky Racer's got Slipstream, and the Haas goes to the outside of the Sauber. As he head down towards turn 1, he's going to go side by side with him, and Lucky Racer does get past Combined. Coming to turn 1, is he going to get past him here? Yes, he is. Lucky Racer lags a bit, but Lucky Racer moves up into 4th place. A good position from the Haas. This will be equaling Lucky Racer's best position, because he finished 4th in the Chinese Grand Prix, and that's his best position in the league so far, as of this race. As now, coming to turn 3, Lucky Racer has overtaken Combined. As now, here we go, 3 laps later on lap 12, on board with P2 High. He's currently in the medium tyres and everyone else is on the softs. Century is behind him in the Force India. The Germans are going to battle it out for 4th place. Here we go, Century has a slipstream and he's going to go to the outside of him. Coming down towards turn 1, is Century going to go around the outside of Ping? Yes he is! Century goes around the outside of Ping too high in the Williams and he gets into 4th place. So it's a nice move from Century there. I think Ping just let him through. Probably. It looks like he just let him through. Century is way faster than Ping is. So yep, this is lap 13, so halfway through this race, a very short race, so it's actually been quite uneventful. On the straight there's been quite a few overtakes, but it's been quite uneventful because we've already cut to lap 13 and halfway into the race. And Ping is still behind Century, so it's actually been keeping up with him for a lap. As now on lap 16, on board with Wattmaster, currently in P3. And now onto the straight, and Century might be repassing him here as he comes onto the straight. Century has DRS open, and he's going to go to the inside of Wattmaster, coming through onto the straight, and Century is lagging a lot there, but despite the lag, Century has got past Wattmaster on the inside and back into the podium places. Now Century has to catch the 2 McLarens out in front of Ivan and Gonza. Can Century do it? As now here we go with a replay of the boom coming through into the section. He's hit the wall and he's completely lost it and he is out. The boom is out of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. That is his 3rd DNF in a row. As now onto lap 19. And there is Savage in the wall at the castle section. So 2 retirements in this race now. The boom crashed out. And Savage also crashed out. And we can say that Boxy crashed out too, but he did not record, so we didn't have his crash. As now onto lap 22 of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, we just finished a virtual safety car for that Savage crash. As now coming into turn 1, Ping has lost it, and he's gone into the wall. Ping is out of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. That is unbelievable. Ping in the Williams has crashed out. That's the 4th retirement of this race. Ping lost it from the turn 1 curb and he just hit the wall and has crashed out of this race. That is an unbelievable moment in this race. That's going to be a free position for the guys behind. And Baku has brought up some dramatic twists again. On board with Vladimir Jega on lap 24. 3 laps to go in this race. As now, coming onto the straight, DRS open, Harry has a slipstream on Jagger as he heads down onto the straight now. Is Harry going to go? Harry's going to go to the outside of Vladimir Jagger, coming through onto the straight. They are side by side, coming down into turn 1. Harry and Jagger are side by side. As now Harry gets the move and he goes into 6th place. As now, onto the penultimate lap of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. These last few laps with this battle is going to be a very good battle between these two on the last 2 laps of the race. What is Harry going to do to Jagger? Sorry, what is Jagger going to do to Harry, I should say. As they come through into turn 3. Jagger is still right behind Harry at lap 25 of this race. As now Combined is actually right behind us because he tried to he pitted for sippers off tyres, which is kind of suicidal. But he did catch up to the back of Harry and Jagger again, but it was quite suicidal what he did to his strategy and his race, which is already bad anyway. But here we go. Jagger is much closer to Harry again, and he's going to go on the outside of him as he got DRS available. They are side by side heading onto the straight as we start the final lap of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Jagger is slightly ahead of Harry as now coming into turn 1. Harry and Jagger are still side by side through turn 1. And Harry has the inside line as he heads through into turn 2, and he gets and he keeps 6th place as the Renault of Harry Tech, and he moves up into, well, no one moved up a position there. It was a challenge from Jagger, but now he goes to the inside of him, coming through to turn 3, not quite. Not quite for Jagger there, but now, Jagger's only chance now is to get him over the line. Combined is now trying to get past Jagger. Is this going to happen? Will this happen? Here we go, coming into turn 7 now. Harry is holding on to this P6, as now Ivan wins his 5th race of the season, was it? I think. He won China, he won Bahrain, he won Russia, and he won, so it's actually his 4th win. His 4th win of the season, and Ivan wins for McLaren ahead of his teammate Agonza. So McLaren 1-2, and Ivan has won the Baku Grand Prix. Agonza has finished in 2nd place, and 3rd place will be awarded to Century after making a mistake. Somehow, I think he spun or something, because he said so. And 4th place will be to Wattmaster. 5th, I don't know who's going to be 5th, but here we go, onto the straight. Is it going to come down to the line between Jagger and Harry? Here we go, DRS for Jagger. He's getting closer and closer as he head towards the finish line. And Harry goes ahead of Jagger only just. So Harry finishes ahead of Jagger. That was a close race. A very close race. Asina Starja has crashed out of the race. And Ivan wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix by 1.5 seconds from his teammate Agonza. Then Century in 3rd, Wattmaster in 4th, Lucky Racer in 5th, then Harry Tech in 6th, Vladimir Jagger in 7th, Combined in 8th, Wesley in 9th. Then Cena Starger in 10th, here DNF'd. Then Cryptox in 11th. Then the DNFs were Ping, Savage, The Boom, and Boxy. And for that incident between Cryptox and Savage, Savage got a penalty, 2 penalty points, and he gets race banned for Austria. So, hopefully you've enjoyed a rather uneventful Azerbaijan Grand Prix. The last few laps, though, between Jagger and Harry, they were nice. The next race is the Austrian Grand Prix in Spielberg, Red Bull Ring. So, see you guys then.